Addy Soldiers. Why is it so dark in the viewfinder? Like, I swear, it past 6 p.m. and then my whole apartment looks like I live in a cave. And like, it's not even like it's midnight or anything. It's a respectable 8:30 p.m. This is why I have seasonal depression. As I am assuming many a fellow book dragon pledged at the beginning of 2025, a goal of mine was to spend less money on books, and I was doing very well with that goal until recently. But what was I supposed to do? It was indie bookstore day, and then I was away visiting my partner, and they were having like a big book sale. And then also, like, was helping run a pre-order campaign, so I obviously had to get something. And like, what was I supposed to do? Not support a local business? So I broke my own rules, fell off the wagon, as it were, and went on a bit of a shopping spree. Is the New Year's resolve in the room with us? But to my credit, this was an unusual splurge, and also I got some of these at a discount. And also, I was supporting independent bookstores. There is only one book that I specifically held in my mind as the book to go into the bookstore and purchase, but everything else just kind of happened, especially at independent bookstore day. Like, I had a list of things that I thought I was going to buy, and I didn't get a single one. And you know, when it comes to secondhand shopping, that the thrifting gods are fickle beings, so you just kind of have to take what they give you that day. If I had to describe what this haul is giving, it's that she's queer, she's sexy, and she's out for blood. And I'll claim that energy. So without further ado, grab a drink, grab a snack, and buckle in. Join me for a oops, I did it again independent bookstore haul. Screw saving the best for last. I'm going to talk about the one that I'm the most excited for, that is the shining star of this book haul, because some mothers don't have favorite children, but I do. I'd be a very bad mother, so I guess it's good I'm never having kids. And it's the third of the Fallen Gods series by Hannah Kaner. It's Faithbreaker. Look at Skitty on the cover. I love a little jackalope. Not to brag or anything, but I am doing so great at my New Year's resolution to read more sequels. The book buying one isn't going as good as I was expecting, but you know, the sequels one is. So, hey, I'll take it. Godkiller and Sunbringer are two of the best fantasy books I've ever read, and if this holds up to the hype that I've seen around it, then this is going to be my most highly rated fantasy series of all time. I may just give all of these books 5 stars. Kissin, Inara, Elo, Skediseth, 10s across the board. In Godkiller, we meet our merry band of fellows in a world during the aftermath of a war between gods and men. Kissin is a god-killer assassin, Elagast is an ex-soldier from the war, and Inara is a young noblewoman with a small god attached to her. They all travel to the final stronghold city of gods to ask a favor, as it looks like some war gods are rising once again, and then, oh man, it just goes out from there. We're exploring religion and faith and making a pantheonic religion monotheistic, and what gods mean to different people and how different people worship them. And Kissin herself has an amputated limb, Elagast has PTSD that revolves in tremors, and there are many characters with other mental illnesses and physical disabilities. There's characters who are blind, who are deaf, who use sign language, who use wheelchairs, characters with ADHD, who are autistic. It is a phenomenal series with beautifully nuanced characters, especially Inara and Skediseth. I love their relationship so much, and I have a feeling that Elagast is like really coming into himself as he's now like the de facto leader of the city that like he never wanted to be. And Kissin is just like, what is Kissin up to, actually? I think we left her on a mountain the last time that we saw her. Final book, the finale, the clash between the immortals and the mortals, and what are we going to sacrifice, and who are we going to betray? I'm so excited to finish this series, also just because like I haven't finished a full series in a very long time. See my sequels video, and I feel like that's just going to give me such a sense of accomplishment. Moving on to the next bookstore, I ended up getting these 2 romance novels. Ew, why is this one sticky? Oh, I just did a shitty job of taking the tag off. Why are all like price tags on thrifted items stuck on there with like industrial grade adhesive? But you know what? Hot tip that'll get this sticky stuff off: conditioner. Put some conditioner on it for like a couple seconds and you can scrape it off. The first one I got, I've actually had on my list for a long time, so I was really excited to see it in the secondhand store, and that is Two Wrongs Make a Right by Chloe DeLies. And this is a contemporary romance retelling of one of my favorite Shakespeare plays, which is Much Ado About Nothing. This follows Jamie and Bee, who once had this disastrous meet cute and just decided they were not right for each other, but when their closest friends tricked them into going on a date, they decide that to get revenge, they'll pretend to date and get everyone's hopes up, and then madly dash them all away and be like, haha, surprise, suckers, it was fake all along. But of course, what happens when you spend a lot of time together and you're getting to know someone? Maybe 2 wrongs do make a right after all. Also, this is one of the only romance novels I've ever seen where the girl has tattoos, and I thought that was awesome. Also, I just like love a man in a collared shirt, right? Who doesn't? I'm just realizing her tattoo sleeve is the most like 2012 ass tattoo sleeve I have ever seen. When was this book? When did this come out? 2022. Okay. Well, hey, you know what? We all make mistakes. I have a tattoo appointment this weekend, literally for a cover-up tattoo. So, I don't know how old she was when she decided to get a film camera, many birds, a stack of books, and delicate little ditzy florals. Like, if that is not 2014 Tumblr put into a single arm, I don't know what is. But very excited for this. My inner Shakespeare girly had a little moment at the bookstore, and only one person saw me make a fool of myself. It was my girlfriend, and she loves me anyway. And then this other romance novel I bought purely for the title, and maybe it's because I'm a bi redhead, and I saw this book that also had a bi redhead, and then also the cover was fun, cute, and then like the title was funny, and I supported a local bookstore, okay? I got a copy of Text Appeal by Amber Roberts. STEM gets steamy as a coder takes on extra work at a phone sex line in order to pay the bills. She's awkward and nerdy, and the client that she starts having a relationship with is actually like her crush at work outside of her job. I'm all about hot bi redheads getting their bag. I'm all about supporting sex workers and having sex positive romance novels. It seems sweet and charming and a little scandalous, just the way I like it. And like, look how happy he looks. Look at that guy. Look at him showing off those pearly whites. We usually don't get men smiling on romance novels. So I'm like, oh my god, how refreshing. Well, I guess we just keep going on the romance train, because I got two more that I want to talk about, except these ones are like super gay. And something fun that I didn't realize until I got them home is that they're actually by the same author. So what's up? My name is Rachel. I'm 29 years old, and I never freaking learned how to read. So first up by Corellia Stites Waters is Satisfaction Guaranteed. Our main character, Kate, is a cold and analytical businesswoman who inherits a sex toy store and then goes head to head with the manager, who of course is like so sexy. And then Selena has sworn off dating, and she's just trying to focus on the business. But then of course Kate gets there, and oh my god, she's so distracted. But the shop is in danger of closing down, and the two of them need to figure out a vibe in order to, keep the shop open. And that sounds hilarious and right up my alley. All business, all pleasure. And wouldn't this just be the perfect time to go straight into an ad roll for like a sex toy company or something? It's like, I've never gotten reached out to by them, despite, all the big companies working with like all of my friend book bloggers, which like, that's fine. I'm not bitter or anything. At least I'm not getting fucked over in a bad way. So I found this first, and I went, oh, that sounds so fun and sexy. I'm going to buy that. And then I went further into the store, and on a table, there was another book. And I went, oh, that looks so fun and sexy. I think I'm going to buy that too. So, I mean, at least this author has a good track record. I'm particularly excited about this one because this is a pairing that I have not read before. And now that I know it exists, I want so much more of it because I dance burlesque. I also danced ballet for like 3 weeks when I was 5 years old, so like I do identify with that lifestyle as well. So not only is Second Night Stand a book where a ballet dancer and a burlesque dancer fall in love, but it's also written by Corellia and her wife, Faye. Oh my god, I didn't even realize the authors look like the main characters. Oh my god, it's gonna be so cute. Am I gonna cry? Oh my god. I haven't seen my girlfriend in a couple of weeks. But I'm seeing her this weekend, so hopefully that will fix me. Our main characters, Lillian and Izzy, have a one-night stand and think, that's it, that was nice, see you never, until they run into each other again the next day at like America's Got Talent-esque nationwide reality TV show talent competition. But of course, they both want the prize money because they want it to help their troops and their theaters back home. So not only do they have to go dance shoe to dance shoe on the world stage, but they're also trying to compete against each other while also falling in love. I don't really watch reality TV, but I love a reality TV show flavored book. We're gonna keep flavored. Why not? I watch Drag Race and Crime Scene Kitchen, and that's about it. And I love a showmance. I love an in real life, like industry power couple. I love a rhinestone, and I love women. So this is checking a lot of boxes for me. To switch gears a little bit, let's get on with some weird stuff. I don't know about you, but when I think of like my ideal book, I'm like, okay, it's gotta be fantasy, maybe fantasy gothic. It's got to have queer ladies. There's got to be a lot of blood and gore, but also like sensuality. It's got to have atmosphere. Like, are these dreams anyone else has? Well, apparently so, because there's at least one other woman who's willing to let their freak flag fly in a way that I find appealing. And since it came out, I've heard so many of my friends talk about how they loved it, and I'm so excited to have snatched the last copy out of my local bookstore, and that is Hungerstone by Kat Dunn. This is a new reworking of Carmilla, which is the queer story that inspired Dracula. So not only do we get gay ladies, we get gay ladies who are also vampires. It's the height of the Industrial Revolution, and our main character Lenore has been in this loveless marriage for over a decade, and her husband decides to get ahead in business to take this hunting party out to the middle of nowhere in England. But on their way there, they get into a carriage accident and end up having to stay with this mysterious host named Carmilla. Lenore's having all these new feelings that she's never known before, that Carmilla's stirring up in her, but is also trying to like regain the affection of her husband. But then also in the town nearby, there's girls who are getting sick and going missing. My 21st century instincts are telling me you probably should look in the basement. The words they're using to describe it are like dark, sensuous, gothic story of female appetite, ravenous desire, and insatiable rage. This is a blood-drenched novel. It's a gothic feast. It's dark and atmospheric. I think my experience with this book is going to be a positive one and not, negative. Get it? Blood jokes. Okay, last year, 2024, was Year of the Vampire. I read so many vampire books, but I'm always excited to add more to that shelf. That one. Still on the fantasy train. This next book is also something that I didn't think I was going to get. I didn't realize that was like what was fated for me that day, but I saw it on the shelf and we locked eyes. And I mean, you cannot tell me that I'm not going to love this book because I love myself a comedic, cozy fantasy. So I picked up How to Become the Dark Lord and Die Trying by Django Wexler. This is a new comedic fantasy about a young woman who is so tired of defending the kingdom against the Dark Lord that she decides to say fuck it and become the Dark Lord herself. Our main character Davi is trapped in a time loop where she's constantly trying to save her people from this Dark Lord, but every single time she fails. Until one day she wakes up at the beginning of the time loop and decides to just go the full evil path instead. By Six of Crows logic, if you can't beat the odds, change the game. I love a nuanced villain. I love a role reversal. I love flipping expectations on their head. This also has some killer blurbs, no pun intended, from some prolific fantasy authors, so I'm very excited to start this. Because come on, don't we all love a girl with a little darkness in her heart? And then the second last book I'm actually going to talk about is one that I got for free because at the store for Indie Bookstore Day, if you bought over a certain amount, which I bought above, you got to pick out a free book off this like little free book table. So of course I went with the campy vampire rom-com Love Bites by Rye Herman. I've been having some weird nostalgia feelings towards paranormal romances lately, and I don't know why, because I haven't read any, but I think people in my life have been, and them telling me about it, being like, oh my god, I remember when I was too young to be reading sexy paranormal romance novels and getting them from the library and then like rediscovering them as an adult and being like, oh, these are so cheesy and campy, but like I love to love them. Laurel K. Hamilton, Kim Harrison, Mercedes Lackey, Jay Wells, Tribe, Rise Up. It's been 2 years since Chloe got divorced and she still has major trauma surrounding it. She doesn't want to leave her house and she doesn't want to see anybody, but then when she gets bullied by one of her family members to go out for the night, she ends up at a goth club and meets Angela, who is this like sweet PhD student who's hiding a little bit more than maybe just hundreds of thousands of dollars in student debt. Sapphic lady vampires for free? Don't mind if I do. You hear this? Are you hearing that? That's the sound of goodies. To end this video, I want to talk about the one book that I actually went into the store with the intention to purchase and then did. And by purchasing it at the location of Book Warehouse that I did, aka the location that all of my friends and former colleagues and book blogger contacts work at, I ended up getting a bunch of free stuff. So thanks for that hookup, guys. The way that Indie Bookstore Day falls every year lines up perfectly with Emily Henry's newest release. So I went to go pick up a big, great, what even is the title of this? Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry, which is just obnoxiously orange. It's well documented. I'm an absolute sucker for books about book people, and Book Lovers is my favorite Emily Henry book, so I'm really hoping that this is like Book Lovers 2.0. And if it's not, I will feel incredibly deceived and let the entire internet know my displeasure, even though I did literally no research on this beforehand. Alice and Hayden are two rival writers who are both in the same small town trying to write a biography on this mysterious, scandalous heiress who hasn't been seen in years, but then they both get contacted by a woman who is said to be this Margaret Ives, and she says that she'll give them both a 1-month trial period, and then after that she'll choose who she wants to write her memoir. But after being in close proximity to Hayden for a bit longer, Alice starts realizing that Margaret is giving both of them different pieces of information, but they can't really talk about it because of their NDAs, but also they're like getting closer together, and so who knows what the story is going to be and who knows who's going to be telling it. That sounds like a caper that I would like to pull myself when I'm in my 80s. So I said it here first, folks, and if this channel's still around in 50 years, well then don't tell me you never saw it coming. And shout out to Vanessa at Book Warehouse, because when I got this, she ended up hooking me up with a bunch of swag. So not only did I get this cute independent bookstore, hello, please focus. Not only did we get this cute Book Warehouse bookmark for Indie Bookstore Day, I also ended up getting this for the Hoffling Saga by Melissa Blair, which I love and like can always use more bookmarks. And then I also got this for Emily Henry, which is just one of those bookmarks that has all of her titles on it. Also got a sticker sheet, which is so cute and fun. And then hilariously, I also was given a Emily Henry pop socket. This is so silly, and I don't know where I'm gonna put it yet. Last but not least, I got this little Emily Henry book pin, which is adorable and definitely going onto my tote bag. And that's that on that. Thank you all for joining me this evening. That was my indie bookstore book haul. Indies just have such more personality than big box stores, and having just switched jobs to start working at an independent publisher, like indies and indie authors and indie stores have been on my mind a lot lately, and I don't regret a single dollar that I spent to keep our indie stores alive. My job is book. My hobby is book. My events is book. My life is book. I'm living La Vida Loca. That being said, I am deliriously behind on my Goodreads goal, so I'll probably choose my next read from this stack. So leave which one I should start below in the comments. You know where to click to like the video. You know where to click to subscribe. I hope you guys are all having a nice day or night wherever you are, and I will see you all next week. Bye!